BassResinator here, and I have something. Some people are going to say, "You stupid idiot," or something similar to that. Here in South Texas, and I know they grow all the way up in Austin and some in Dallas too, but we have these nasty stickers, and they look like they're grass, but they're not. And those things, they're not very big, but oh my goodness, they will do a number on a foot. Now, there is also another variety down here called the goat head, which is about 2 to 3 times that large, and there's some really large thorns, and they'll go right through a chancla. You'll feel flip-flop, and you'll feel it all the way in your toes or the bottom of your foot. These things get in your socks or get in your pet's fur, and you go to reach for them, and you when I walk my dog every once in a while, he'll stop and just look at me like, I'm not going. He doesn't whimper, doesn't do anything, just like, nope. And he's holding one paw up, and I look down there, and sure enough, he's got one of these. But they will damage me trying to get him out of him. So I'm going to do a little memorial to these. So I have little pyramids, and I've already attached the stem onto popsicle sticks. And I'm going to do this right here so I can pour some resin down in there. And in order to get it to where I don't get any bubbles down there, and I'm using deep pour resin from Let's Resin. Already put it through the vacuum chamber. And I'll pour more in just a bit. I can see bubbles arising. And it left that alcohol down in there. Left a weird, like it's not mixed. It better be mixed. I mixed it for quite some time. Okay, now this is the small one. And I'll put it in like so. And I don't want to go all the way, I don't want to fill the molds all the way up. I want to do something on the bottom, which is what you're looking at, the top. We had a huge thunderstorm here. And I mean some serious thunder. And now there's sirens going, so I'm sure either somebody had an accident or had something go on near them that they're needing extra attention. You know, I mixed up way too much resin, I think. Yes, I did. Well, I still have a little over 3 ounces. What am I going to do with that? Well, I'll figure out something.
Are you going to take him for a little bit?
I don't remember how much resin this holds, but this is a mold I made of dish with sand on it, so it's got a really cool texture. And since these are called sand burrs, Might as well have a sand jar, right? Little bubbles coming up. Probably held in place by the sand burrs. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of color to this, and then I'm going to add that here. You don't need to see that part. You'll just get to see the unmolding thereof. But, yep, it's going to be a while before these cure up, but yeah, we should have a memorial. Okay, bye. Well, these are cured up enough. They're tacky. So I'm going to remove the stem, or not the stem, but the stem holder, and get it down so that when I pour more resin in, it'll be able to cover that up. Yeah, because I don't want that sticking out. Okay, let me mix up some resin. I'm going to use a color. Well, I'll show you what the color is when I come back, but I'll be right back. Okay, I mixed up a couple ounces of resin, and I used this rustic oak dispersion color. I wanted it something dark and not shiny because I want the sand burr to be highlighted. So I want that lighter colored plant thing to be visible and not hidden with some type of shiny or bright color. And so I mixed up 2 ounces, and that was just enough to fill all 3 of these. Cool. Okay. We'll see you when I unmold these. Bye. Okay, these have cured up. Here's that bowl, the sand bowl that I made, that I designed. And a little bit heavy on the mica right there in a couple spots, but it looks sort of like sand. It definitely feels like sand. Okay, speaking of sand, here are sand burr. Oh, that came out kind of cool. And because of that dark brown underneath, we can definitely see it. Look at that. A memorial to a pain machine. If you know anybody who lives in South Texas or in a place where these things might live, even like I'm not one that uses curse words, I have definitely thought them when stepping on this. You think stepping on a Lego is bad? Oh my good night, Irene. Nothing like this. These are sultans of pain. Wow, that came out cool looking. Little stain right there. And these molds were definitely not square. They were cheap ones, so it's supposed to be a square pyramid, but it's more like a pregnant square pyramid. Yeah, that is definitely torture in a plant. Now, get these gloves to go back on. Okay, sand burrs, sand bowl, sand delicious. If you are a subscriber of mine, thank you so very, very much. Let me get them to where they're pregnant all in the same way. If you are not, it's very easy to do so. Just go down to the bottom of this screen and click the button that says subscribe. Right next to it, there's a button that has an icon of a bell. That's the notification bell. So if you click that, then anytime I do something new, you'll be notified that I have done something new. And my channel also has channel memberships if you are interested in helping the channel monetarily. It's very inexpensive, price of, actually cheaper than the price of a cup of coffee, but that's if you would like to do that. Any money that comes in from this channel goes right back to the channel. Yeah. I'm going to try and clean those edges off. It's like it's got a little bit of stain. I don't know from what, probably inside, something inside those molds. Like I said, they were cheap molds and they were stacked on top of each other like this, so who knows. And there's two smaller ones. Can you imagine, a little tiny? Anyway, yeah, stick around. I will have some glamour shots of these. And then I'll see you for the next one. Bye.